Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Jamie. This will be a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So we're going to do a monthly overview of April, and that's why these two oracle are out. It all makes sense. If you are completely new to tarot, just understand that not every Cancer reading is going to resonate with you. If it feels like the reader's wrong or it's not your story, just go ahead and disregard the reading. I'm also going to pull cards like King, Queen, Emperor, and Empress. I'm not specifically talking about a man or a woman. Those cards, they describe a really specific personality, so you'll know who we're talking about. If you want to catch more readings, you can subscribe to the channel. It will notify you whenever I post. I do offer private personals. That information is in the description of the video. I'll also pin it in the comment section. And I offer a membership, so if you're interested in that, you can click join to check out the membership tab. It'll show you all the perks over there. So the first card I have out is a win-win outcome is forecast, and this is full moon in Libra. On the 12th of April, we have a full moon in Libra. So you're going to be experiencing, and those around you as well, heightened emotions and probably some relationship drama. But the conflict really, it gives way for two people to state their needs and say what they need to say, and essentially control damage. Fix any of the complications in interpersonal relationships. Now, towards the end of this full moon period, actually relationships should be pretty well harmonized, and you may find that, things are actually better than they have been for a really long time. And I want to say, when it comes to romance, this is a good time period, but it's also a very fertile month. So you want to be careful there. Now, on the 19th, the sun will enter Taurus. And thank goodness, because this Aries energy has been a little bit much. And I think it gets a little exhausting. And when we move into this Taurus energy, everything's going to calm down. You'll feel a lot more, I want to say, patient and productive than in this last, I don't know, maybe 20 days or so of mayhem. Everything will stop being retrograde at that point, so when I say things will just all of a sudden come off peaceful, that's exactly what I mean. Now, on the 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus. New moon in Taurus, prosperity lies ahead. And this encourages us to really think about our future and to begin the work to set that up. So when I'm talking future and we're talking Taurus energy, we're talking about the practical earthly things, right? 401k, life insurance, long-term investments, things like this. So there will be a huge emphasis with future planning, and this does also include in relationships. And then finally, on the 30th, Venus moves into Aries. And so this is like carnal desire energy. This is literally the energy of fertility. So again, be careful. I want to say it's like a Twitter-pated, as they said in Bambi, type of energy. It's the time to meet up for spring flings and to go out there and meet new people. The sun is out, it's warm, and everybody's in that mood. So again, towards the end of the month, a much more light-hearted experience in relationships, especially romantic ones. So let's kind of get into this, and then we'll go over all of these individual aspects. So the main energy here is the Nine of Wands. Your current is the this is the Wheel of Fortune. I thought it was the Ten of Cups there for a second. And that's because the Ten of Cups is right here. So supporting this, we have the Ten of Cups, the Four of Cups, and the World. To get the Wheel of Fortune and the World together in a spread is insane. And the challenge here is the Five of Cups. So when it does come to those of you that are in a romantic relationship, there are some hurdles, move it, like the idea is to move past it though. That's the main energy when it comes to romantic relationships in the month of April? How can we move past whatever is going on? And I think it's really about how you feel in the relationship more than the other person. That's going to be the main emphasis here. Now, that full moon in the beginning of the month is already going to have you looking at your independence and your need for others. And I think that need for others has been put on the back burner for a long time, but in April you may actually be able to fully appreciate or be grateful for your romantic partner. I think that when you guys get caught up in some type of turmoil in this relationship, it's really easy in the disappointment to forget, how good the good times are too. I feel like there's little periods in the relationship where things get, I want to say, emotionally draining. And it can be easy in those little moments to forget the regular, mundane, everyday stability in that relationship and how much someone really does show up for you and vice versa. So I feel like, again, that moon is going to really put an emphasis on appreciating that romantic person in your life. And that's going to help you to really change things. Now, again, I don't think it's just the way you're showing up for them. It's literally the way that you think about this relationship that you are in. You may not think anything on the regular, every day-to-day, someone respecting you and showing you kindness and always being there for you. But you really, really notice on the bad days, and I think this is something that you're going to be changing in the month of April, is really like how you view, these down points in the relationship. Because, it's like, when we think about this in realistic terms, it would be like on a Friday, my boyfriend or girlfriend didn't do dishes or something when it was their night to, and I get really angry and frustrated, and I start thinking about how this motherfucker doesn't appreciate me or anything that I do and all of this stuff. It's like getting really amped up in those bad times and getting miserable for days over one tiny little thing, and almost forgetting in those times that there is still a lot of good and love in the relationship. So I think that there's just a tendency here on your end to get really catastrophic in downtimes. So I do see you trying to figure out how you can harmonize the relationship on your own behaviors or mental patterns, and paying attention to your emotions better during certain times. I like it though, because it's not like putting the blame on someone else. It's like, this is what I need to do to maintain harmony in this relationship. This is my main problem here. So I like that. And trying to, again, with the prosperity lies ahead, this new moon energy, sort of focusing on how to completely change that. What do you need to release from the past and let go of? And, this can be like little stupid things, that we just bring up every time we're in an argument, but really we should be over by now or something like that, Now, for those of you that are single, the main energy here has been trying to move past something. I think it's been really hard. Some of you have been 9 months or so just completely single, maybe even isolated, just trying to get over a breakup. And I do see in April that changing for you with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Cups. There could be I don't want to say somebody entering your life. I don't see that specifically, but this change in your energy where you finally are kind of looking like, I do kind of want a relationship, especially towards the end of the month when we start future planning, right? So now we're no longer stuck in the past or really looking back at the past. We're releasing the past energy, right? That's what this new moon energy will all be about. And really starting to look into, what we do want in a relationship. And even though things have been disappointing, being, it's like, it's time to get out of this low energy, low mood, this depression, whatever it is, In the month of April, you're going to feel the want to do that. And I feel like it's really towards that Venus and Aries energy when, it's like really just trying to, whatever loss you've suffered, I think that you are finally going to move past it by the end of April. This doesn't even mean that somebody's going to go out and start dating or anything like that. It's just, when you wake up, you don't feel so upset. You're just not so bothered by the absence of someone. You're not so deeply hurt by a loss. You're not still grieving a relationship anymore. Okay. Now, when it comes to friends and family, there are some things here in April that I think you're finally going to work through. I don't get this as just on your end, though. I feel like you've been willing to work through something. This is with like a very specific friend or family member where you just want to move past some type of disappointment here, but it's also on this other person. I feel like this is someone in your family that like you've literally shed like a lot of, or like a really close friend, you've shed tears over this person. Like it's a really, really close connection. And I think of all the disappointment with you that you've dealt with in life, like this one was like really disappointing, and I think that it was also like meant to be disappointing. That person could be returning with the Wheel of Fortune in the world to attempt to, again, control the damage, to repair and harmonize a relationship here. Some of you, I feel like, have been waiting for this for a minute. And I think even maybe struggling to move past this. Some of you just have like real interpersonal problems to begin with. Like you're not very good at connecting with people or getting very close. You are more like a person who enjoys their solitude. You could be like super introverted or something like that. But when it comes to family, I feel like a lot of you are estranged. And so like it really matters if you like lose anybody that's left. But yeah, whatever this situation was specifically, it really wounded you, and something is about to change in it. I feel like there's someone returning, and even though you're still disappointed in them, I feel like you will be happy to hear from them. So you can expect some changes in that by the end of April. When it comes to money, you can expect really good fucking things this month. And I feel like specifically when you're moving into Taurus energy, I want to say like around the 21st, your money is going to pick up so crazy. And I think this has been after like a couple of months of some like rough, like loss energy. Some of you took a big loss financially this year. Like maybe you had to pay like some huge amount in on taxes or something, so it's like you just... I think when it comes to money, there's been a little bit of a struggle here. There's been some kind of loss, whether somebody took something from you, whether, y'all got a divorce and, you lost money there. Like there's some major financial strain that's been happening since the beginning of the year, I want to say, maybe a little bit before that. And you're finally going to, move past that. Now, for some of you, this is just work. Maybe there's like a dead season at your job. Like maybe the winter months just don't help you to make a lot of cash, and finally you're moving into that season where things are going to pick back up. But wherever there's been some loss financially, I see huge changes here with the Wheel, the Ten of Cups, the World. And this is from this 4 and 5 of Cups energy, feeling really disappointed, like you're not going to be able to get anywhere, like huge change in it this month. Finally getting past whatever like financial hurdle or like blockage that you really had there. Now, if I were to take advice off this spread, I would say things are about to shift and change at speeds that you would not believe. We have the Wheel of Fortune and the World out here. There's going to be a lot of, I want to say, healing and releasing, especially around this new moon. When that starts happening, though, there's going to be these feelings of regret, remorse, just past disappointments of things that come up. Release it. That's what it's coming up for. Go ahead and release it. And allow some new changes to come into your life, especially for those of you that, really went through some type of, major breakup or something here. This season is going to shift that energy, and you just got to let good things come into your life. I think that a lot of you have been pretty, like, I want to say, not negative, but in that low for such a long time that you don't really have a lot of optimism or faith anymore. But this is a really good month. Again, a win-win outcome is forecast and prosperity lies ahead. So whatever sorrows you've been dealing with, they will be no more by the end of April, and I really like that. See you guys soon.